Welcome back to another episode of Four Nobodies Talking Sports with myself, Brian Power, the love guru, Mike Hawk, and
Yep.
still loves the Rams, Bob. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Good.
Pretty good.
Good.
Any good thing? Anything good coming from North Dakota, Brian?
Just snow.
Just
I mean,
snow?
not a lot of it. But I mean, we have some snow.
It's cold and it's snowy.
Oh, it's not that cold.
Yeah.
It's not cold enough to where I have to have like 4 layers of clothes. So, I mean, that's awesome.
You are just wearing a t-shirt, but you are inside, so you should be okay. We got down to like 30 something here in Modesto, I think, the other night. It was cold.
Did you guys get out your long underwear and big coats and stuff?
We had a 2-week run where it was getting down to at least the fog's gone now.
Yeah, the fog is no fog. Mike, how was your weekend, Mike?
It was good. I had a good weekend.
It was good. How about you, Bob? Did you have a good football weekend?
It was okay. You know, it was.
Were you guys at any point? I know I posted. I was like shocked. I got up to do something. I got back on, and I was watching a game, and I was like, "Who's that quarterbacking for KC?"
Oh yeah, Chad Henne.
I was like, "What the hell happened?" I had to go on the DVR and play it back, and I was like, Could Kansas City lose this game? I thought for sure they were going to lose it.
Are they saying if he's out?
It's concussion, so he's.
It all depends on what report you read. I read a report about 2 hours ago that said it was not a concussion. There was a nerve in his neck that got pinched.
Oh.
Because if you look, his head never hit the ground.
Yeah.
The guy hit him on the side of the neck. And they said it was more like a pinched nerve in his neck type deal.
Well,
they haven't released a statement themselves.
Yeah, because he ran to the locker room.
Yeah,
he didn't have to get help there.
Yeah,
but even with a concussion, you don't once like you're initially daisy, but then some guys get it. You know, they get their consciousness back pretty quick, but they still have a concussion.
Yeah. Now, what's the league rule on that? If he does
he has to pass protocol.
He has to pass protocol.
Right,
can he play next week?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. If he passes on
but he has to pass. They do tests.
Yeah. Well, the pinched nerve would be the worst thing then, because if he has a pinched nerve, I mean, I know how that is. It's hard to. Yeah. I mean, for a quarterback, he's got to be able to swivel his head around, and I mean,
very quickly too.
He can't do that with his. I don't know, with his shoulders. I mean, it wouldn't be good. I don't see them doing.
But that was some pretty ballsy calls that Andy Reid called, man. Like 4th down and had him run for it, and Andy Reid, man, he wasn't playing around.
Was he? I'm trying. When I was watching that, I think I can kind of remember him making those calls back in Philadelphia where it hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was talking about his mask too. I mean, I haven't seen that mask before. That was a different looking mask that he was wearing.
No, he's worn that 2 or 3 times because, it looks like it's like, I don't know, a giant ball sack on his nose.
That's what it does. And then everybody's like, how's it staying up? Because he only has the one strings. And it doesn't go on the ear. It just kind of goes like right here on the side of his cheeks. And everybody's just like, how the fuck is that mask staying on that guy's face, dude?
Yeah.
But it was a good Sunday. It was a good Sunday. I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen here. I told you guys, playoff Brady is fucking dangerous, man. Playoff Brady is dangerous.
You can't say playoff Brady. What you got to say is Tampa Bay's defense showed up.
Yeah, the defense showed up.
If it wasn't a turnover, Tampa Bay was average on offense, but once they got to short field, they scored.
Yeah.
But
did you see that catch? Did you watch that game, Bob?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Did you see that catch that Johnson made on that 3rd down?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that was on the money.
Was that catch? No, it wasn't. Was that? I mean, it was outside, so the defender couldn't get it. But that catch that Johnson made turned all the way around and oh man, that was a hell of a catch.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it was a good game. It was good. All the games were good this week.
They're dangerous, man. Tampa Bay, if their defense gets it clicking, and Brady's got a lot of weapons, they're gonna be a tough team to beat.
I think it's gonna be close.
Drew Brees ran into the same problem that Jared Goff and the Rams do. They weren't throwing the ball downfield. They were throwing between 5 and 15 yards. So the Tampa defense really didn't have to extend. Except for Jameis Winston hitting that dude on that trick play. Brees never threw the ball farther than 15 yards.
No, he didn't. That's what they were saying. He didn't throw it over 20 yards or something like that. And when he did, he was picked off.
Mike Thomas couldn't catch a cold.
He got shut down. So yeah,
it was a good game though. It was a good game.
It was a good game.
It's sad that Brees' last game he has to throw 3 interceptions.
Yeah, but
that's.
Here's what's sad is if you go on Instagram and Twitter, I mean, 95% of people are like, he's great, blah blah blah. But you got those 5% like, yeah, the chumps are racist because he didn't want us to stand. And blah, blah, blah. Just
He's what?
He's racist because he didn't want us. He didn't want no one kneeling for the anthem at the start of the year, and there are black people still holding on to that.
Yeah,
even though Brees changed his stance to keep the locker room. I'm telling you right now. I mean, Drew Brees is a better man than me. You knew he was going to retire because he's probably tired of all the bullshit in the locker room about Black Lives Matter and social justice.
Well, he is getting old.
But still,
he just turned 42.
I know, but the man that has done with his charity work and rebuilding New Orleans after the hurricane, the man has done more for that city than any black person I can think of.
Yeah.
And they're still jumping his shit. If I was him, I would shut down my charities and move and say, screw you guys. But you know what? The people he's helping out, they don't feel like that. They appreciate him. But it's the people behind the keyboards who feel the need to say whatever they want.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's just how they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how well we did. Brian, are you ready for that part, Brian, there?
Yeah.
All right.
Nuclear reaction with a flux capacitor. Carry the two, changing its atomic isotoner into a radioactive spider. Fuck you, science.
Fuck you, science.
I forget. What did I change my pick to?
You sent it to me. So
you got
no. Oh, not that pick. But I'm saying who picked the like we picked what teams were gonna win.
Yeah. Right. We haven't done the over.
Not this, but
yeah.
What did I pick on this?
So
Bill, Chiefs, Saints,
to be fair, John lost the most. I didn't have Mike's picks on here for this one, but for the over under, I do.
Who lost the
Brian
most?
Got the Browns. Brian, you were close to the Browns.
Yeah. John lost the most. He picked the Ravens and the Rams. Yep.
Yeah, I was almost on. I was almost. Baby.
John only asked me one game.
Yeah.
You only had one game.
Yep. I actually thought the Browns were actually going to have that. They were down by 5 points, but then they screwed up. So it happens. But
I mean, everybody's talking about that helmet to helmet at the end of the first.
Yeah.
Now. Okay, so in the offseason, 2 things are going to happen, right? One of them is everyone's tired that if you have the ball, you fumble out of the end zone, the other team gets the ball. Mm-hmm. I think you'll see a rule change on that, where the team gets to keep the ball but get it at the 20-yard line.
Yeah,
because nobody likes that rule.
Right. Yeah, they were saying that's pretty much the most strict. That's like the most painful rule in the whole game, and it's just that rule never really made sense to me.
Yeah, if you fumble and it goes out of the end zone,
right.
That's stupid. So it is a dumb rule.
Defense gets the ball, but pretty much that's probably going to change. And I think that the NFL, after seeing Sorensen's hit to Higgins, I think the NFL will probably adopt the college rule of targeting, where you can go back and look at it.
On
instant replay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That was a pretty cheap hit, man.
Yeah.
You launch yourself, you lead with the helmet, and you almost take the guy's head off.
Yeah. Yeah, they talked about that during the game too.
Yeah, but you can't go back and look at it for a personal foul, which is basically what it is.
Yeah. No, that rule. Actually, I was going to bring that up. That was going to be one of the topics on the show tonight, and I was going to ask you guys basically if you had to pick one rule to change in every sport, which one would you change? And we'll get into that later on in the show. So it gives you some time to think about it. If you are able to change one rule in every sport, football, the major ones, football, baseball, you don't have to do them all, but if you could change one rule in each of those games, what would they be? So we'll think about that, and then you guys can give me your answers. This is going to be crazy here. Are we going to do separates here? Broncos, Packers. We'll let Bob start. Broncos, Packers, Bob.
Bucks, Packers.
Bucks, Packers. I'm gonna go with Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Mike or Brian, whoever wants to go.
Mike can go first.
Mike's got to think about. He's not going to go again.
I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, good boy.
Of course.
Same here for me. Playoff Brady, man. Playoff Brady.
I'm going Packers. I really think the Packers are going to beat the Bucks.
Oh, we're 50-50 here. 50-50.
It depends on the weather.
Yeah.
25 degrees.
25
They're saying
degrees.
It could be snow.
Snow.
It's not going to affect Brady, but I don't know what it's going to do to everybody else.
Bills Chief, this is tough. Without Mahomes, I could see the Bills winning.
No, I'm going Bills no matter what.
Yeah, I got to go with the Bills. I think even if Mahomes comes back, I don't think he's going to be 100%.
I don't care. Mahomes can't come back. I'm saying Bills.
Bob's thinking hard.
I'm going to go the Chiefs.
You go the Chiefs.
Only because
I'm telling you what, it sure would be. Go ahead, Bob.
The Bills opened up as a 1.5 favorites, but now Kansas City's 2.5 point favorite.
Yeah, that's stupid. They should have never. The only reason they opened up like that is because that's with Mahomes out.
Hey, Brian, go ahead and add Brandon Britt to the chart there.
I was going to do that already.
Good boy. It's snowing. Brandon, you can pick both games if you want.
Yeah, I did. Packers and Bills.
Oh, he did. He Packers and Bills. Oh, he did right there. Okay, Packers and Bills. We'll see how right you are, Brandon.
Well, it's only 2 games, but
all right.
It would be interesting to see Brady against Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They talk that up something fierce.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would.
ESPN would be all over that.
Let's do the over and unders for that.
But Rodgers versus Mahomes, they'll be talking that up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would talk that up too.
Because it might change the way you pick when you look at the over and unders. I think that would be a different pick, or
no?
You're going to still be the same.
I mean, it could be that's
what I'm saying. The points can be,
Yeah, I don't care. It's only a few points. I'm still picking.
What is it? Anybody have that up?
Oh, we'll get there. Yep. I actually did the right colors this time.
Bob, you're buying drinks, Bob.
Yep.
Bob's buying drinks tonight.
Made money.
Fuck yeah. Finally, Bob's
pretty good in that one.
Brian won.
See, I was worried because of the 6.5, and then it's far more than 6.5, so I'm not worried about that.
I think we all won.
John won. Look at John.
Yeah, baby. Fuck yeah. I'm buying a round too.
He was by 2 points.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
And then Mike.
Mike won.
Mike
won.
That's right. Put the
Browns
with the 10.5.
Look.
We're all winners.
Watch out, Vegas. Here we come, man.
That's it, man.
Oh man. You got the points.
Are you sure that Mike won? Because the Chiefs won, right?
Yeah, because the Browns were
they didn't win by 10.
They didn't win by the points. Yeah.
Right. But, they only lost by 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I get
they
I get
win.
the 10.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, weren't the Chiefs 10.5 favorites still on that one? So this
They
should
were.
be minus, right?
So the
Yeah, that should be minus, though,
Chiefs
right?
would have had to won by 11 points.
By 11.
Yeah. I had the wrong one in there. So
No. Take the minus away.
Yeah,
Because
take
the
that
Browns
minus.
weren't favored.
Yeah.
oh, I got you.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yeah. There you go.
The Chiefs were favored.
Bob's gonna have a
'Cause then
gambling
Chiefs would've been
class.
10. I always get mixed up with
Huh?
that. That's
Bob's gonna have a gambling class for everybody.
right.
Well, you know what? You know what's sad that you talk about gambling is I've already spent $700 on football pools for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But how much you bringing back?
I don't know. You have to play the Super Bowl first.
Yeah. How about on the fantasy stuff? You made your money back?
In one league, I did. Yeah, in one league.
Yeah, you made your money back.
So are we doing everybody on both teams, or
Yeah, everybody will do both teams. Or
Yeah,
both
make it
games.
fair.
Might as well.
You get the odds, Mike, or
Yeah.
I can pull them up.
Well, you said my thing says 3, but you're saying the Bills or the Chiefs are at 2.5.
That was at 3:00 this afternoon.
But sometimes my thing is off by half a point because it's just an app. It's just a
Right.
football app.
Well, let's use
So
the
it
Vegas
could be
one.
it could be 2.5.
Yeah, let's just use the Vegas one.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Mike, you want to go first? Packers Bucks?
Well, let's get the details on first.
Okay.
So Packers Bucks is
What are the Packer Bucks spread?
Okay, so we're gonna do what it currently is right now, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, so the Packers Bucks is the Packers are favored by 3.5, and the over under is 51.
and Bills Chiefs.
And the Bills Chiefs right now it is the Chiefs are favored by 3 points.
That's weird because Bovada has the Packers at 4.
Really, I've got
Still pretty close.
let's see, I've got they opened at 3.5. I've got Betcom is at 3.5. Sports betting's at 3.5. The win is at 3.5. Everybody's at 3.5 in Vegas. Golden Nugget, DraftKings.
Okay, then we'll go with that.
Yeah.
And what's the line
so here's
for
the crazy-
Bills Chiefs?
Oh, and the over under is 53.5. Or wait, 53.5.
Yeah, that's what I have. 53.5.
So here's the crazy thing. The Bills opened up at 4.5 point favorites.
Wow.
But that's not
That's what I'm
it is right
saying. That's only because of that's stupid though, because that's only because of them thinking Mahomes is going to be out.
Yeah, they're
That's
not
it.
sure what's going on.
There's no way.
Well, all the people who
If anybody bet at that line, that would have been
and
nice.
that's what happened. That's what happened. It opened up at
That
4.5.
would have been nice to catch. Yeah, but they might have moved it themselves.
Kansas City.
Yeah. All right.
Everyone-
Bob, you're up, Bob. What are you doing?
Okay, so Bob is going to take Bob's going to take at 3.5. Bob's going to take the Packers. And Bob's going to go with the over.
See if that matches up with your thing.
Okay, and then Bob's going to take Bob's going to take the Bills +3. And I'm going to go with the under.
Said here you. Oh, okay, yeah. Never mind.
He's taking plus the points.
I got you. Yep.
But I just don't think the Chiefs are going to cover.
Yeah.
Huh.
Brandon,
If Brandon wants to get on here, I can put him on. That's not.
yeah, we can add you to it too,
Yeah.
Brandon. If you want to be added to it, if you're still watching there, you can put in your pick there, and Brian will add it.
And no, with that one.
He's
You
going to
can't
go
do the Bob same pick. Come on, if Bob loses, you lose. You can't do that. What's wrong with you?
Is it my turn or is it Mike's turn?
It's up to you. You guys can pick. I just wrote my name because it was there. So
all right, I am going to go with the Bucks for the win, and I'm going to go with the under. He said
Brandon lies there.
And the Bills Chiefs, I'm going to go Bills and the under. I don't see a lot of points being scored there.
I don't either.
Mikey Mike, you're up.
I think
there.
This is where you're going to see more defenses come out.
I'm going Bucks. I'm going Bucks in the under and Bills in the over.
I don't know. I see more of a defensive game with that Bills Chiefs game. I don't see a lot of points being scored. I see a lot of running, maybe a couple.
Those are two of the top offenses in the league.
Yeah, I know. I just see.
But Cleveland held them.
I could see that being an under two, but I'm just gonna go with it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Did Brandon pick for the Bills too? I mean
He's doing exactly what Bob's doing. So I just copied and pasted, and he's gonna have to live with it.
Bills do have a good defense. That's what I'm saying, and they did. Fuck. Oh, does he have to pick the Bills? He's went for the under as well, and he went with the Bills winning.
He just went the same as Bob's.
I assume it's exactly the same.
Yeah,
Brandon, if it's wrong, just say something.
Yep.
You have 2 seconds.
What's up, Mr. Bruce?
Snow for Green Bay and Tampa. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't have. Did anybody check the game times? They had weird game times this week. I think it's just because
Kansas City's Green Bay's the
12:05 and 3:40.
And 3:40. Oh, they're trying to get that
2:05 and 5:40
and 5:40.
Whatever.
That's my.
Oh, you're in the central. Yeah.
The love guru. Don't upset. Yeah.
All right, Brandon, it's done.
You're in there, Brandon. We'll see how well you do, buddy.
Well, no, we're going to see how well Bob does, and Brandon's just going to follow. That's how this is going to work here.
Well, you got.
Okay, so on Sunday in Green Bay, it's going to be 28 degrees with a 40% chance of snow.
Yeah.
Ooh. That means it will snow. But Brady will be ready. Brady's going to be ready. Playoff Brady.
Ain't no
Brady's going to be fine. It's the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think they'll do just well. He's got too many weapons. That team has too many weapons, and they got the master at the helm. So I just see them winning that game. I see them winning the Super Bowl. To be honest with you, I know you guys are saying I'm nuts, but I think Brady wins the Super Bowl, and then he becomes.
I don't think so.
Brady wins the Super Bowl.
With Tom Brady, scary.
Yeah,
I thought Mike was in love with Tom. I think your love for Tom has surpassed Mike's love for Tom.
Yeah, and it's becoming faster too. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
It's like he's like, I didn't like him. Now it's like I love him and I want him to win more.
No, I hate him.
He's just accepted that Tom's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. I just think he's a different type of player. There's different guys. There's certain guys that, and I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, there's certain guys that just know how to fucking win. And when I look,
that Michael Jordan gene.
Exactly. And when I look down at this list of teams that are left, how many of those other guys do you see on other teams right now?
Pat Mahomes.
They're all good.
How can
any
you
one
say
of
that?
these teams can
Aaron
win, and
Rodgers.
any one of these teams
Aaron
could win.
Rodgers. That's what I'm saying. These are guys that are just
All
made.
these teams are good.
Yeah, they're all good. I just see a different type of player in Brady. And,
It could be any one.
yeah,
You can't be mad at anybody's pick. Any one of these two teams can win their game this Sunday, and any one of these four could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, any one of these teams.
Bruce, who do you want on the Bucks backs? I'll put you in here too.
Oh, Bruce, you can add you on there, Bruce.
You can't. I mean, any one of these teams could beat the other three.
Right.
If you stop Buffalo from, if you can stop Diggs and Beasley, Buffalo can't run the ball. So
right.
That's where
their main. That's their weakness. That's why Buffalo's at the bottom, because they do have the worst. They have the worst run game.
Yeah.
Out of all those teams.
Using Damian Williams as a backup, man, he's doing awesome.
Yeah, if you notice during our fantasy football, we kept flip-flopping around all the Bills running backs just because they didn't have a central running back. And every time we would pick one, it was always a wrong pick.
Yeah, Bob, imagine if they get a running back next season.
Right.
Imagine if they sign somebody.
Well, they got Singletary. What they need to do is like maybe add an offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's true.
You got Bruce's picks there?
Green Bay and Bills.
Got him.
You got
Should we put him in the over-under too? We can.
Yeah, we can. If he wants to be added there. Oh, did I? Yeah, I think I did send it to him. I don't know when he's going to jump on, but he said he was going to jump on. I'll be on soon. So Nick will be joining us. Yeah, I might as well add Nick to that when he gets on here. So
absolutely.
I'm just making my job easier here. Tampa would have lost.
Well, we know which way Nick's going with the Bucks game. There.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of curious to see who he wants to play. Would he rather play KC or would he rather play the Bills? But the Super Bowl is going to be a whole different story. It'd be nice weather.
Where are they playing this year?
It's in Tampa Bay, right?
Yep.
Home field advantage for him.
Yep.
That'd be something. And then when he does win it, he becomes the greatest NFL player in history. My opinion only on this staff. Mike, I think Mike might back me up on that one. No? Greatest NFL player in the history of the sport? Mike, if Brady wins the Super Bowl?
It'd be hard to argue against it, but
well, no, I mean, yeah, but all right, so
he could be put in the
No, right now, number one is Jerry Rice. Number two is Brady. If Brady wins this Super Bowl, Brady passes Jerry Rice as the greatest NFL player in history, period.
No.
Hands down.
No.
The only reason I would say no is because Jerry played in a harder era. That's the only reason.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of other players.
Jerry never played on a team that got caught cheating twice and paid a penalty.
Forget about the cheating, Bob. Forget about
the cheating.
Forget about that. He had no control over that. He had no control of what Belichick did. He
watched the tapes though.
How do you know he watched the tape?
I'm sure they had a film session. This is what Philadelphia's going to do. This is what Carolina's going to do. This is what the Rams are going to do.
Do you think that Belichick and the rest of the staff said, "Hey, look, we stole this stuff. You come watch it"? No, I think they watched it and then.
I don't. That's the thing. I could very well believe. I could. It's very possible that on any of those times that they just. Belichick just watched the tapes himself, and
I don't think Brady was ever in that room watching those tapes with those guys. I think they built the offense.
Let me make another point.
And everybody needs to stop acting like other teams didn't do it. Everybody knows other teams recorded other people's practices and stuff. It's been talked about. Yeah, yes, everyone knows that. Other teams have done that. They just didn't get caught. They just didn't get caught.
Give me an example. Give me an example.
Give you an example. That's what I'm saying. They didn't get caught, but people have admitted that other people have done that. Other coaches, other NFL players have admitted that people have done that. They just nobody got caught.
If everyone did it, how come Belichick was the only one who got suspended and fined?
Because of the greatness
because they eventually they made it a rule, and then he got caught, and they said that's when everyone stopped.
Cincinnati.
All right, time out.
Bob, I actually have a question for you. So when people receive tapes to look into stuff, do you think it goes straight to the quarterback or straight to the head coach?
It probably goes to the head coach first, and then it goes to the coordinator.
Okay. Then at the head coach point, which would be Belichick, it's on to him if he passes the info along or not. So he would actually be more at fault. Right, but he'd be more at fault.
Because
no, that's not true. That's not true.
Yes,
he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't have to pass it along.
Yes, he does.
Right.
Yeah, but
if you don't pass the tape on to your players,
he's the play caller.
How do you know? How do you know where to be at on the field when they're running a certain play? How to know what to look for? Because if you're watching the tape and you see two guys who normally aren't standing there, like say on defense, but you know what kind of defense they're going to run because they're trying to disguise it.
Okay, well you can say that. So are you saying that they recorded the Seahawks plays for that Super Bowl?
They did.
When they passed that when they made that when he made that interception at the end of the game that would have ended the game and they would have lost the Super Bowl. But for some reason that rookie happened to step up right in that spot, and everybody was like, "We don't even know why he was there. He just happened to be there."
No. That one, no, they didn't do that. That was just a stupid play by Wilson.
Okay,
I got a question for you. So when it goes to the coach, he actually doesn't have to share the whole tape to that person. But what he can do is he can then provide crucial information. Hey, this is what could be going on. Watch out for this. Make sure you do this instead. So which means he didn't have to show the tape to that person. He's still providing crucial information. So which means the coach would be more liable than the quarterback.
Right.
No,
that's what. Wait a minute, though. Honestly,
this is one time I'm actually arguing with Bob. Come on.
I know we're just guessing here. Hold on. I know we're just guessing here, but I don't assume that any player was involved in looking at those tapes. I think that whoever had those tapes gave them to the coach. The coach got his staff together, whether it was the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator, says, "Hey, this is what they do. Let's build our offense and our defense around this." And relate that information, like Brian's saying, to our players. I don't think players were in the room saying, "Okay, let's see this footage." I don't think that took place.
They videotaped the walkthrough the day before the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have time to work out a game plan, but you have time to bring everybody in and say, "Look, when they're doing this formation, this is where you need to be." Classic example. There was a play against the Rams. All right. Willie McGinnis is way out of position on that play. But on that play, he picks off a pass and scores a touchdown. On a typical defense, Willie McGinnis is not standing there. So how did Willie McGinnis know that play was coming and where he needed to stand, because it didn't look normal like he ever did before? The players knew what plays they were running. Okay.
Yeah, but I think that information
way to do that is watch the tape.
Yeah, I don't. Even with the amount of time they had, I still don't think they had. Here we go. As soon as he gets it, I don't think Brady or anybody on the defense actually saw any of those videos. I think it was
just okay, John, you're living in a fantasy land. Okay.
I don't think so. Maybe I don't know Brady. I don't know what kind of a gentleman he is, but I don't think he wanted to go out.
Deflategate.
Yeah.
Bruce has got a point where they
the Deflategate thing is trash. They came after them for nothing. They said it was 1 or 2 balls that were deflated, less than half of a PSI. And they blew them out of the water. They blew them out of the water.
Yeah, they blew them out.
Why did Brady throw away his phone and destroy his phone?
Who cares why he did it? It doesn't matter. The point is, there was a couple balls that were deflated. If you're telling me that team lost by 30 points because Brady had a couple balls that were deflated half a PSI, that's insane.
All I'm saying
that's
is
insane.
Own it. Own it. If you know the balls are deflated,
but maybe he didn't know. Maybe they didn't know.
You don't. Oh, come on. Brady knew. He was playing with the balls. He threw an interception. That's how the guy got the ball.
They were talking about it was like half a PSI.
Hey, did I get too low?
It was still
the weather
low on
change.
It wasn't.
The weather change could change the footballs that much.
They were playing indoors in Indianapolis. How's the weather fucking change indoors?
But you as a football person are really going to tell them by 30 points because a couple balls were deflated? Come on. Really?
I'm not saying you were going to lose anyway. All I'm saying is the evidence was there. It happened, and he
throws away was really slim.
He loses his cell phone, so they can't look at his messages to the.
What does that matter?
All right, guys.
If I was Brady, I would have broke my phone too. You're going to come at me with a couple balls were deflated by a little bit. Get out of here. They played with so many balls.
Hold on, guys. Number one, did my volume change? Can you guys still hear me? I had to lower it because you guys are fucking screaming over here. But let's say
wait, and we're talking about wait. We want to talk about the walkthrough gate. I'm looking at it online right now, and they were never punished for that because after the league did their investigation, they said there was absolutely no proof that there was a tape of the walkthrough.
Of which game?
Of the Rams with the walkthrough gate.
Right, because Eric
there's
Mangini,
zero. They said after their investigation, there's zero proof.
Was the one who filmed it.
Yeah.
Eric Mangini filmed it. He got the job in Cleveland. He ratted on Bill Belichick. They destroyed the Rams tape. They didn't have the Rams tape, but they had the Eagles and they had the Panthers tape. But Eric Mangini said, I filmed the Rams game. Okay. I filmed the Rams practice when Eric Mangini got the Cleveland Browns job.
But I'll say it again.
It's fine that he said it.
I'll say it again, though. I don't think any player had ever seen any of those tapes. I think those tapes went to the coach, then to the coordinators, and they adjusted the offense and the defense to play to those tapes. I don't think a player actually. I don't see Brady sitting there.
Okay. That's fine.
Nick,
how you doing, Nick?
Nick, how you feeling, Nick?
I'm doing well, Bob. How you guys doing? And I'm feeling pretty good right now.
But go Bucks, go!
Yeah. Right?
Here,
I mean,
I'm gonna put that right next to Bob's face for you.
I don't know, man. It's kind of weird going back to Green Bay. It's going to be a challenge, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the city look like? How are the people reacting over there? Are they excited or what?
They're fired up. I mean, before the Saints game, they were all, "Oh man, we're going to go up there. I'm not sure we can win and stuff." I'm like, shut the hell up, man. You're not going to lose 3 times. I mean, yeah, it's going to be tight. It's going to be a good game, but you're not going to lose a third game. And it just wasn't going to happen. But now, had it been a split, during the season, I'd have been a little more worried. But they came in ready to go. I think they could have started off a lot quicker, right? And you just never know what team's going to show up. Is it going to be the team that beat Green Bay 38-10, or is it going to be the team that lost to New Orleans 38-3? You just never know. So it's kind of scary right now. But word on the street is Vita Vea is coming back, so we'll see what happens there. I mean, I don't know. First week back, it might be a little rough.
Yeah.
I thought the ball bounced their way several times. It damn sure wasn't something where you feel comfortable going out of it, right?
Right.
I mean, it just wasn't something where you go, yeah, okay, we got this. But, with Tom Brady at quarterback, you just never know what the hell to get. I mean, if the guys are catching the balls and he's on point, it's lights out. But are they there yet? It's a whole new season, right? I mean, you get into playoffs, you just never, it's a whole new season. They're playing different ball. He's been there before. And he's got a great cast of players around him.
Yeah.
To shut them all down would be rough. It's just they've all got to be firing and pick which one's going to do the best. That's what it boils down to.
I think he needs to use Brock some more, a little bit more.
He does, but I think they're expecting that, right?
Yeah. Well, no, not
The
this
kid's
season.
talented.
Not this season. He hasn't been throwing it to him. He's killed
Yeah,
him.
but he's been covered up a lot, man. The guy's like he's running in quicksand. But when he gets the ball and you put it in a tough spot, he's got to be able to get it. I mean, he got a ball, a couple of them yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't think he's shying away from it by any means. I think that. I mean, look what you got. You got Cam Brate, who's pretty much unstoppable every time the ball's in his general vicinity. You've got Antonio Brown. You've got Mike Evans. You've got Godwin. You've got. I mean, the list is. I mean, back in New England, maybe he didn't have that cast. I don't know. You got Scotty Miller. The list is long of his tools. He's got so many little toys to play with. Yeah. How do you pick just one? How do you pick one of those guys out and say that's the guy I'm going to ride? You can't. You can't ride Gronk.
No, you can't.
Tom's loving it. He's got to be loving it right now. If they give him time with all those tools, I mean, it'd be dangerous.
Well, absolutely.
Brian, don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear.
I come in on deflate game.
Come on, Mike. I still love you, Mike.
I'm actually looking at something that like is kind of interesting here to me.
I still love you, Mike. You look like you're about ready to kill me.
No. I'm watching a basketball game. But no, I don't care. Everybody's got their opinions on it. I mean,
Belichick's paying for that now. Don't worry about it.
Well, Belichick's paying for it, but Tom Brady had to pay for it too, and that was just Roger Goodell running a rough shot over arguably the best quarterback that's ever played.
Right.
There's a lot of people that think that Roger Goodell that whole thing was just like a complete sham. The Deflategate.
Yeah.
One of the officials came out and said that some of the Colts balls were actually under 3 of the 4 that they tested were under deflated to an illegal PSI also. And the other ones had sat in
one championship.
Yeah,
right?
And the other ones had sat in the warm room longer. The Colts balls.
One championship.
Because of that, those could have actually inflated because they were sitting inside of a room. So it was just, and the Colts knew about this because it was supposedly a sting operation to test them.
Well, once the guy got the interception, he grabbed the ball, he gave it to the referee and said, "Feel this. It's not fully inflated."
But do you still have to play the game no matter what the ball
probably felt it too? But you think Tom's going to be like, I mean, if he still feels okay to throw it, you think he's going to think like, oh wait, I better say something because if not, this is going to be illegal, and then we're going to get in trouble. No, he's just. I can still throw this ball.
Wait, I played with some deflated balls, and I don't think we won any more championships with a flat ball, dude. I'm just being honest.
And they blew them out of the water. That was all.
You still got to have a talent.
And they killed them. They destroyed them. And that was all in the first half.
It wasn't even close. So,
it was just like
the thing for me is like a lot of it has to deal with physics. So like if you have a ball that's actually deflated a little bit, it's easier to grab in theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In theory, yeah.
Okay. So how flat does it have to be? How less of a pressure
to make a difference?
Correct. So like I'm kind of looking through this and like out of the 15 balls they tested, it says that the Patriots balls were set around 12.5 and the Colts were set around 13. Okay. Now me being
half
from a
PSI
cold pressure area,
it gives you a better grip.
It does take time for cold to inflect on air in a closed device.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much time? It's a lot longer than 5-10 minutes. I'll tell you that much for sure. Okay. They're saying in the report that it was estimated around 4 to 5 minutes roughly that they were in like a warmed area. But the Patriots balls were sitting around very lowest was 10.5, highest was 11.85.
And Brett Favre's the greatest quarterback to ever play football.
From 12.5.
Yeah, the greatest throwing interceptions.
Yeah, and then the Colts ball is set from 13, lowest was 12.5, highest was 12.75. So there's actually more of a difference in the Patriots balls than the Colts balls. I'm not saying that they were completely deflated, but what I'm saying is that how can air pressure affect more on one side than the other?
Because they were in different places.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They said the Colts balls were actually in a room, in a warm room.
Yeah.
because they keep them there to get tested. And they said theirs were in there longer. And so that could possibly make up for the fact that theirs were higher because they were in that warm room, what they call a warm room, longer. So, like I said, a half a PSI, I mean.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Right. But that's just what I'm saying is that, like, there's a more of a difference change between the Patriots balls and the Colts balls, but the time frame should be roughly about the same in the report here, actually, is what I'm reading at. But could it be, but is that pressure enough to make a huge difference? No. Is basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't know. When's the last time you played an NFL quarterback with a ball like that?
Last week.
Okay.
Remember he played against Michael Jordan.
Hey, remember I could take LeBron
James. You can take LeBron to the hole.
I can take LeBron to the hole. Score.
No, you only take LeBron to the hole at Don Pedro, dude.
Yeah,
and you're playing the face.
Hey, Nick. Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl. He becomes the greatest NFL player in history. Does he surpass Jerry Rice as the greatest player in history in the NFL?
All right, and with this team, I would almost say he's pretty damn good. I've not watched him a lot up until this season. I'll be honest with you, because I could not stand the Patriots. Right. Yeah. Plus, being here, I mean, I didn't watch a bunch of AFC games.
Yeah.
But I mean, the nationally televised things I'd see. Yeah. But man, I just don't know if he's just that good. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I'll give it to you. He's good. But
well, if you've only watched him really up till now, then you've missed. He's not what he was.
Well, every list has got Jerry Rice and
Tom
Brady. Yeah.
He's not what he was. That's for sure. Like if you're watching, if this is the most you've watched him and you're basing it off of this is not the Tom Brady of old.
Well, here's a question for Nick: who do you think should be on number one on the list, Jerry Rice or Tom Brady?
Jerry Rice.
Yeah, Jerry Rice is number one.
Yeah, Jerry Rice is the greatest football player that's ever played.
Jerry Rice on every list is the number one greatest NFL player in history. Every list.
And what John's asking is Tom Brady going to top out Jerry Rice now if he wins the Super Bowl?
If he wins the Super Bowl.
Here's my problem. When you talk about the greatest player, you got to think about who they surround themselves with and what made them so great, right? So you can't just say one player is the greatest, because without that team, you put them behind like the old Bucks, Jerry Rice would have been shit.
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So how do you pick one great player? I mean,
well, that's what we talked about last week.
Greatest player. I mean,
is like I think it was me and Bob's argument was the receivers make the quarterback, but the receiver can make the receiver, not the quarterback.
But the line makes the quarterback and the receiver, right? I mean, right. Miami proved that. Dan Marino proved that every year. Right?
Yep.
Supposedly a great quarterback, but never got the hardware.
Let me ask Bob. Do you think Jerry Rice belongs at the top of that list?
I'm going to go with Nick on this because it's all speculative. Because I mean, for longevity, absolutely, Jerry. But if you want to look at individual accomplishments, O.J. Simpson playing 14 games and gaining 2,000 yards in Buffalo on a bad Buffalo Bills team, I think is a great accomplishment. And if he doesn't blow out his knee, O.J. could be the greatest.
Yeah. How about Barry Sanders?
Yeah, I was going to say Barry Sanders.
Single player.
If Barry Sanders played on a team with a defense, Barry Sanders would be the best ever.
But he changed the game. He changed the game every game he was in.
Absolutely.
Now, when you're talking about a single player versus being on a surrounding team, Barry Sanders was pretty damn good by himself. On any team, he could do it.
Yeah. Well, but if you're saying by himself like that, that's kind of hard to measure with the wide receiver because the quarterback still has to throw the ball to him.
Exactly.
A running back gets, you know what I mean, get the ball handed off.
Well, he needs a
Walter Payton was Barry Sanders before Barry Sanders until Mike Ditka got to Chicago. Walter Payton played on some horrible teams. As a matter of fact, Walter Payton, when he set the record of 275 yards in one game, they beat Buffalo 10-3 that day. And Walter Payton had 275 yards.
Yeah, that's insane.
And they won 10-3. That's because the Bears were bad.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, how do you put Jerry Rice?
I guess the better question is: is there somebody you can say that you believe is for sure a better or should be on top of that list besides Jerry? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that he named off, but
the best player ever compared then they're above Jerry. Like I get it, of course.
Well, I have a better question. Hold on. What do you think separates those two from taking one from the other? What separates Jerry from Brady that would make
Jerry played in a harder time, especially for his position.
That would be the only thing.
If Jerry Rice played today with a good quarterback, Jerry Rice would his numbers would be stupid.
Today's defense?
Yes. Oh, come on. The way they play now, Jerry's even said it. Jerry laughs about it. Yeah. He's like, man, I had guys hanging all over me all the way down the field. He's like, with the little ticky-tack stuff you guys got nowadays, he's like, I'd be scoring every time.
The pass interference rules were a lot tougher back because you could pretty much mug the guy and like
the whole way down. Now you only get 5 yards or something like that for contact. Back then they drape all over him the whole way down the field. Yeah. So it's just like the NFL. It's just like the NBA. James Harden would be nothing in the 80s and 90s.
No, he wouldn't.
To me, he wouldn't be nothing. He a third of his points usually, if not more, come at the line.
Well, then that goes for
and it's all because every time he gets touched, and guys have even talked about it. Like guys that played back in the 90s and the 2000s, guys have talked about it. They're like, man, the way he flops around and stuff. They're like somebody would give him a reason. Somebody would hit him and be like, that's a foul. Yeah. Here's a clothesline. Take that.
Here's a question, John. Who do you think is the top player of all time in NFL? It doesn't matter what position.
The top player. Oh, that'd be tough.
Mm-hmm. I'm putting you on the spot right now.
I'm going to be biased because I'm going to.
You mean in the league right now?
No, just ever. Who do you think it is ever?
I'm going to have to go with Eric Dickerson, man.
No.
I'm just biased. I'm just being biased.
Eric,
in the NFL?
If we go back further back, I mean, like when I watched football in the 70s and 80s, I don't know, man. It'd be tough.
See, I'm doing an experiment right now, so just give me a name that you think is.
I have a favorite, Brian. I have favorite, but I don't know if they're the top player, right?
Yeah. See, I mean, I'm going to pick my guy that I'm going to stick to my team, but I mean, if I were to pick someone that I feel would be the greatest, it would if it was put on the spot, it would be a defensive player, not so much an offensive player.
Say it.
Fuck, dude, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm making a way to make this work. So just
Lawrence Taylor, baby.
It'd be tough.
LT.
Singletary, fucking.
Singletary is good too.
I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, I think not to say that offensive players aren't great and athletes, but I think a defensive player has it harder.
Okay.
And I think if anyone was going to be the greatest, it would have to be someone on the defensive side of the ball.
Okay. So you want to go Singletary and Dickerson? We can do two. That's fine.
Yeah, I get it with Singletary.
Okay. Bob. Pick two. Go ahead.
Okay, so defensively, Deacon Jones changed the game because they didn't count quarterback sacks when he was playing. Mm-hmm. They didn't start doing quarterback sacks till after he played. But he changed the way that defensive linemen rushed the quarterback because they said if you were to count up all of his sacks, he'd have a lot more than Michael Strahan does. Yeah. I'm going to go with Deacon Jones just because of the way he changed the game. And offensively, Barry Sanders.
Okay, Mike.
What?
You can pick two if you want. That's fine.
Two players?
Yeah, sure.
That you think should be the greatest of all time.
Yep, I'm kind of going with the stride right now. I'm going to make it all work.
In the NFL?
NFL, yep.
Oh, man.
Who is if you had two players to pick on a team from now till when the league started, who would you pick to be on your team right off the bat? Your top two players. Well,
I mean,
the two best
I'm
players.
pretty biased, but I mean, I'm definitely I think Jerry's the greatest player ever, so I would pick Jerry. And then
Ronnie Lott.
probably
Dwight Clark.
If I had to pick somebody now,
You can pick anybody.
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Oh man, I'm probably
Deion Sanders when he was on the Niners.
Prime time.
Prime time. It's a prime time.
He had an impact.
Joe Montana.
Ooh.
Hey, Nick.
That's a good call.
Can we pick the same player or not?
Sure, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Taylor and Sanders.
There you go.
I just loved Lawrence Taylor watching him play football, man.
Right.
Yeah.
He was nasty. My second one was going to be Jim Brown, but I like Sanders better if I couldn't.
Oh, Jim Brown. Good old Jim Brown. He's a beast. He's a stud.
All right, we're going to jump to
I'm going to do some research and compile some numbers here and come back here next week and make something fun out of this. So
we're going to jump into Mr. Bob's segment. Hold on here.
You want answers? Well, I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
Michael Jordan never beat Larry Bird.
4. I'm 230. I could take LeBron to the hole.
The only way you're taking LeBron James to the hole is if you know where the catfish are biting and you got the bait. All right. Second base is easier though.
I love these two.
Second base is easier.
I
don't play both positions. Second base is easier. Anybody else? Except you can play first base. Every ground ball in the infield goes to first base.
Yeah.
And you want your shittiest athlete at first base? I want to play you guys because I'm going to run all day long and kick your ass. What do you know?
The show is all yours, Mr. Bob.
All right. So the state of college basketball. I read an interesting story over the weekend from DeAndre Fox, who plays for the Sacramento Kings, and he went to the University of Kentucky with John Calipari. DeAndre Fox made a comment that said, DeAndre Fox said Calipari is not interested in winning games as much as he is taking kids who are one and done and getting them ready for the pros. And in my opinion, I think that has slowly ruined the college basketball game as well. Because if you look at all the colleges that are just doing one and done, they're not winning championships, but they're not helping the game of basketball the way it used to be played. I mean, everyone's going for the 4 3-point shooters now. So like Carolina is struggling because Roy Williams still plays 3 big guys in the paint and 2 outside shooters. And he's basically getting killed because his big guys can't go on the perimeter and cover the 3-point shooters that the other team's got. And North Carolina is really struggling, but that's the way basketball used to be played. I know the game is evolving and the game is changing. Okay. But the good part is, well, actually right now there's very few good parts because if you're just going to get a kid who's going to come in and do one and done, let kids go from straight from high school to the pros. I mean, it's not really in the best interest of college basketball to have a kid come in 1 year. And then like Zion Williamson played for Duke. They didn't win a championship, but they catered to the way he played.
Yeah.
And I mean, you get maybe one good kid a year who can go pro. All the rest are coming out after 1 year and they're sitting on the bench or they're not really making an impact in the league. Okay. I mean, in the last 5 drafts, give me 10 players who were one and dones who were making an impact on the league. Besides Zion Williamson and DeAndre Fox.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons is, but Ben Simmons is taking him 4 years to get good. You know, you had every year a kid from Duke comes out and he doesn't do well. Jabari Parker, Marvin Bagley Jr. These guys aren't that good. They should stay in school and develop their games. The only positive thing that's coming out of all this is you get a lot of good schools like Villanova, Gonzaga, Baylor, and those guys are getting kids that'll stay 4 years. That's why they're good and they're winning championships. Virginia, I mean, those are the top teams now because they're basically juniors and seniors, and it's a fun brand to watch. But everybody else is just going with these one and dones, and I don't think it's good for the game. I really don't, because you're really not getting any player loyalty from season to season. You're a fan. I mean, Kentucky's got 5 freshmen playing. Okay, 3 of those kids are going to go pro next year. Kentucky sucks this year because you got 5 kids who can't play together.
Yeah.
Okay, Kentucky used to be a powerhouse, but Calipari is just getting these guys that are one and dones, and it's just not. I don't think it's good basketball anymore. I really don't. It's not watching like it used to be.
Do you think the NBA has anything to do the way they're changing the way they're playing the game? Is it influenced by the NBA?
The way the NBA game is being played is a huge factor on how colleges are playing now, because they're developing these kids to play in the pros. Problem is like I said, you get one good kid a year who can come out and go and start on a pro team. Everyone else, it takes 4 to 5 years to develop them.
Yeah.
And I think those kids should stay in school. Tim Duncan went 4 years at Wake Forest. He came out, he was a stud. You know, but for every Zion Williamson who can come out in their first year playing 1 year, there are 1,000 Scotty Thurmans. And you're going to say, who's Scotty Thurman? Exactly. Scotty Thurman played 2 years at Arkansas. He was part of the championship team, went pro like everybody else did after his sophomore season. Scotty Thurman sucked because he didn't develop in college, and Scotty Thurman was broke living on the streets 3 years later.
Yeah. Do you think it affects the way the kid picks?
There are far more Scotty Thurmans than there are Zion Williamsons.
Do you think that these kids that when they're looking to go to a school that they pick that type of school that's just looking for the one and done? You think it affects the way you think it does too? Yeah, I could see that happening where the kid goes, well, look, I could go win a championship and be on the bench, or can I go over here, be a starter, get done, and get into the draft? So
right.
So Bob, you think it would you think kids just skipping it the 1 year and going straight to the league would hurt college basketball less than them playing 1 year?
I think,
like, if college didn't have a Zion, like, you think that would be better if they just never had him?
Yeah, because look, I mean, Gonzaga's never had a Zion Williamson. Gonzaga's been like one of the best teams for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Villanova's a player. Butler's
so
a player.
I guess what do you mean by it's hurting them? Like in what in like ratings, or it's just not good basketball to watch, or
it's hurting them because when they do one and dones, there's no familiarity on the next season. Yeah. Okay, so you've got to keep replacing pieces every year instead of having a kid manhandle that position for 4 years. Yeah, now, could you imagine being Wake Forest and have to replace Tim Duncan every year?
Yeah.
Or would you rather have Tim Duncan for 4 years?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, but it's all because I mean, but I guess it's kind of. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, these kids it's either stay in college and play and or go to the league and get paid millions. I mean, it's not really, there's no really deciding there.
Yeah. How about going to college?
You know what?
Yeah, John, are you going to stay in college and get an education if you got a team willing to pay you $2 million?
Yeah,
hell no. That education can kiss my ass.
Okay, but if I'm an average player And I do get that, even if I'm a above average player, I'm still going to look and say to myself, maybe it's just me, but I'm going to look at the league and say, okay, what's the average player's lifespan in that league? And that's going to make me decide whether or not I'm going to stay the 4 years and get myself an education.
Nope,
Who knows? I can go into broadcasting.
If I'm an average player and I know I can go out in the draft, an average player salary in the league, and then if in the NBA right now is what, Bob, like $8 million a year?
Yeah,
average.
Yeah, Mike.
That's an average salary. So even if I play 10 years, which isn't like a super long time, you're talking about I'm getting paid $80 million over the next 10 years, or I can stay and get a degree.
I'm getting my degree because
I'm going to go and I'm going to play, and then maybe when I get out, I'm going to go get my degree if I really want it. But I probably got, $40 million sitting in the bank. So that's okay. I'm not.
But
where they go wrong is where they manage their money.
Well,
going and getting the money isn't the problem. It's how they manage it. Because even if you're average, you can make $100 million on a 10-year career if you're average.
But the problem is like we've talked about before, these kids are coming from fucking the ghetto. They're coming from the streets. They have no they have no idea how to finance their money. They don't care to finance their money. And by the time they're 5 years in, they're broke.
College doesn't teach you how to finance your money.
Take for instance, Shaq. Everybody knows Shaq's story. I mean, Shaq had to have a phone call from his agent saying, you're fucking $500,000 in the hole on his first deal. He was in the hole. And here's a guy that grew up in a good family, a father and a mother. Mother's a teacher, dad's a cop. They were good parents. They made sure he knew how to finance his money. But he had to have a phone call, 2 weeks after he got his first paycheck? And his agent telling him, hey, you better start.
That just shows you it's not just about where they come from. Well, I mean, that plays a factor, but it's the fact that these kids are just young, and that's going to happen. But them staying in college another year or two isn't going to change that. If they get out at 19 or if they get out at 21 or 22, they're still going to go blow that money. Yeah. I don't think that's going to change. College doesn't teach you to save your money.
If you get out at 22, you've got 4 years experience and you kind of know how to play the game, and you're gonna go to the next level with a lot more talent than you are at 19.
I said, I could see you growing your talent. Yes.
For every Zion Williamson, there's 1,000 Scotty Thurmans, Robert Swift, Corleone Youngs. There's all these kids who didn't either go to college or they went 1 year, and they're going to be big stars. And I think part of the problem with the NBA is I think that their talent pool is diluted because the kids don't have the skills yet to go pro. There's, like I said, there are some exceptions to the rule. Okay, LeBron, Kobe, Daryl Hawkins when he was young, Zion Williamson, but those guys don't come. I mean, there's one guy every year who comes out. Seth Curry did 4 years ago, man.
Bob, do you think it would change things? Do you think kids would stay longer if they made some money?
Here we go at the money one.
There's a thing now where they're going to start getting the proposal is they're going to start getting a cut on any replication of their name or number while they're playing. But
is that fair to the guy that?
I don't think kids should get paid while they're in college, because take advantage of the free education that you're getting, because the free education and you know what and what I love about
getting
college
played, I'm talking about getting endorsements. Like, they should be allowed to get endorsements. Like, if Nike wants to pay them to wear their shit and get an endorsement.
You can cut of any jersey that the university makes, but as far as making deals with Nike and you're a freshman in college, no.
For what reason?
Because what if the school has a contract with Under Armour?
Yeah, okay, I understand that they do have a contract. That's true.
Wear Nike, no. No, you're not
that's
going
true because the league is giving them the college is giving them their chance.
Right.
Is giving them their scholarship. So
Absolutely.
they should make they should make money off of it.
You want to touch on this, Nick?
Playing sports, get a degree, and they go on to something more than sports. Yeah. Okay, so I understand the percentage, but I just think that it's ruining basketball to have one and dones because the whole game has changed to make them better equipped to play the NBA.
Yeah.
And I think that's wrong. You got to go back to the foundation of good basketball.
Yeah. Hey Nick, you want to touch on this? You got anything you want to add?
Oh, my thing is that first of all, I'm back out of the whole NBA conversation, but we're talking about people being able to get out and make a decision. If they weren't offered those positions, they probably wouldn't take them. So if these guys are cherry picking right out of college and offering them these big contracts, then maybe they should be talked to. But I think it's worked out for them so far. So why would they hold off on it, right? So I think it's about big money, and you see more and more sports going to big business, and it's now down to the college level, and it's just going to keep going down and down. And technically, it starts at high school, right? They start their recruiting and watching these guys at a younger age. When they start moving in, they get the scholarships, and then they snatch them as quick as they can. I just don't know.
Basically, if you look at the
college benefits from them.
For a year, make money on them.
Yeah, depending on how long they stay.
Right. But you're getting a free education while you're there.
Right, but not all these guys want the education. That's the thing. They want the cash, right? They see the NBA players.
That's why I think they should let them go from high school to the pros again.
And then you get the guys that have seen, right? Everybody wants to jump. It's the ladder. Everybody wants to jump from that first step to the top step. They don't care about the middle steps to get there. And they see those guys like LeBron and those guys making all that big money. They want to be like LeBron, right? Be like Mike.
Right.
And they don't want to take the steps that it takes and all the hard work to get there and all the grind of going through a 4-year college and walking away with a degree. And they don't think about, what if this doesn't work out? What if I get injured and I can't play? I need an education to fall back on. Those types of things is what they're missing, right?
Yep.
I mean, I know people that have graduated college, signed with NFL football teams, went out the same damn day and bought like a Callaway Corvette, pissed money away left and right. Next thing you know, they're broke. They lose their contract. And they're broke. They're doing construction now, and I can say that about 4 guys that I know that are now doing construction. These aren't these are young guys that grew up in a family dynamic, know better, and have been taught better. But just like Mike was saying, something goes off in their head, man, and it's just like, boom, the day they sign that contract, they're a whole different kid. They're pissing money away like they never had it before, and they're broke.
They're broke.
And it's sick. But how do you stop that? I mean, big corporate America is jumping on these kids as fast as they possibly can. We've got high school programs here that are teaching them how to get that. Like soccer, golf, all the sports.
Yeah, no, what do you guys got in Florida? You got what, IMG Academy?
Yep, right here in Sarasota.
So I know that there's a big basketball in Virginia called Oak Hill Academy, and that's where they're getting a lot of these kids off the streets from Chicago and stuff. They're getting them to go to Oak Hill IMG Academy, and basically they're grooming them to play pro sports.
Yep, and they sign them a big contract, and those kids are like, "What? I'm in. Screw you, my degree." They don't care.
That deal that was made for the 1 year and done, wasn't that kind of pushed by the college? Didn't the college force?
No, it was pushed by the NBA because a lot of the kids coming straight out of high school weren't making it. Maybe 1% of the kids coming out of high school were making pros. Like I said, for every LeBron, there's 1,000 Scotty Thurmans, like Nick said, who are working construction now, and they don't have any money.
Because they can't keep up with GPA.
Yeah.
You put a
Robert
GPA on
and
them.
other kids who aren't making it, they're in construction now, or they're living on the streets.
Yeah. Do you think it would make a difference if they made them stay one more year, make them stay until they're sophomores?
I would, for their development alone, yes, because you put them in a team dynamic for 2 years, and you get their skill set better. Now, granted, like I said, okay, you can't take away from the LeBrons, the Kobes, Zion Williamsons, Ben Simmons. Like I said, but Ben Simmons, it took 4 years to get good in the league.
Yeah.
But look at all the great players. Okay, look at all the great players. Jordan did 3 years at Carolina. He played with Perkins. He played with Jordan. Tim
can't hold it, Bob. They can't hold their GPA to be able to get through. They don't want to put the effort in to hold it because they know they're better than that.
I understand that.
So how do you force a kid? If you're a good institution, you're going to force the kid to have that GPA, and then you got to sit them or let them ride. But they're finding out that these talented kids don't give a damn about it, and all they want to do is just use it as a stepping stone. So how do you fix that big piece in the middle? Is that, look, you've got to maintain that GPA and stay on, and you get a ride, and then you get the big deal. No, I want to go from here to here. Yeah. I don't want to deal with no GPA. My end goal is to sign a contract with the NBA or the NFL or NHL or whoever.
The good thing that the NBA did, the good thing that the NBA did was they implemented a rookie salary cap for the first 3 years. Yeah. So you're not going to make a lot of huge money up front first. The NFL did it because Sam Bradford was the last guy to be overpaid. Now they have rookie contracts where I think you start at $3.2 million if you're really, really good, but you do that for 3 years, then you get a big contract.
That's a big contract.
A lot of money.
For a kid that they pull off the street in Chicago, that's a hell of a lot of money. In one of these institutions that are training them to be pros, I mean, $3.2 million. I mean, that's a big chunk for these kids. You're thinking small in the grand scheme of things. I get it, but when you're talking about a kid who's eating ramen and can make $3.2 million, that's a huge chunk of change.
It is.
That's not really, in my mind, it's not a minimum. I don't think they should make more than $3.2 million. That's a lot of money.
I get the enticements. Trust me, I get all that. But watching college basketball now, you can see how the game is getting away from how the old school game used to be played to now 4 guys on the perimeter. Everyone's trying to shoot threes. I just think it's watering down the version of college basketball just to have these kids come in one and done, and let's get them ready for the pros. Let's run an offense where the kids can play pro. I think I don't know. I don't like the game the way it's being played, and I don't want
too structured. They got their hands in it too much, and I agree with you because they can actually paint the optics that they want to about any individual player, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can make one guy a star by being that focus, and he'll get the contract, and the rest of the kids are sitting around like, okay, I'm sitting here getting a degree and waiting my turn, but at the end of the day, you're going to pass 4 or 5 of those one and dones through here, and I'm going to be crapped on over time, and that's a shame.
Yeah, but trust me, in the long run, the kid getting the degree is going to be better off.
Absolutely, but it's still it changes them and their experience going through this whole process.
Yeah, but better off to what extent?
I think that longevity in a career, how to spend your money wisely, how to do things, how to take care of yourself instead of getting a big contract and paying someone to watch your money and having half your boys from the neighborhood on your payroll.
Yeah.
The guy getting a 4-year degree isn't going to have his boys from the neighborhood on his payroll.
Yeah.
And these guys who are one and dones who get a contract, if you look at their payroll, half the boys from the neighborhood are on their payroll. That's why they're broke.
And it's hard for them to
see. They're going to
buy
a Lamborghini, they're going to buy a big house, and they're going to party with their boys.
Of course, but you've had that life experience. Everybody on this call probably has. But These youngsters haven't had that experience. They just see what's at the top.
It's just a different level when somebody hands you millions of dollars.
Yeah,
sure it is.
It's life changing. It's your whole family. So then your family starts supporting you, and they're like, "Yeah, hey, you're gonna buy me a house and a car? Absolutely, go."
It was like Shaq's dad. What you got him a 500S? So you didn't buy me a 500S, and then he drives down there and buys a 500S, and then his agent calls him up and says, "You're $500,000 in the hole."
Yeah, it's kind of magical. The more money you have, the more friends you have.
Yeah,
it's just what happens. You're trying to be nice, trying to be generous, and what happens is you get taken advantage of. It's
well, that's why I always said if I won the lottery, if there was an option to pay for my name to be hidden, I would pay it.
There is,
right?
there is.
There is.
No, not in every state.
In California,
not in every state there isn't.
Some states, if you win the lottery, you can't be anonymous. You have to provide your name.
Yeah, some states you do. Because I looked it up a little while ago.
So we have witches, right?
I mean, which is funny because I don't even play the lottery, but
I actually went as far as creating a spreadsheet and figuring out like what numbers would actually pop out the most to figure out like if I could actually make an advantage of it. Yeah, it's actually pretty insane. It's actually true. There actually are numbers actually pop out more than others.
Well,
Did you play 'em?
but
no.
Did you play him?
No.
No, because he knows what are the odds of winning it, Brian?
It's like 1 in 17 million or something like that. It's pretty like 1 in 12.
It's got to be. It's more than that. Isn't it? 17 million.
Yeah, it's 12 billion or something. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, it's pretty.
One and never gonna fucking happen is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's Bob finish this segment here.
Okay,
Yeah, what happened? Bob was doing his thing.
All right, so I will give Deshaun Watson his props right here, where he said, "Don't protest for me," blah 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 blah. But I think the NFL is going down a dangerous road, especially for guys like Deshaun Watson and all these other guys who want to be part of the process of hiring everybody in the organization. You're a player, okay? Okay, you're a player. You play for the guy I hire to coach you. You play for the general manager that I hire. And in 4 years, if you're not happy, don't sign a contract with me, move on to somebody else. But I just think it's a dangerous precedent to let guys like Deshaun Watson tell the owner, I want to be involved in who the general manager is going to be. I want to be involved in who the head coach is going to be. I want to be involved in all this stuff. No, I'm not paying you to be the owner. I'm paying you to be a football player.
Yeah, paying you to throw the ball.
You have a choice. If you don't like what I'm doing here, when your contract is up, leave.
Yeah.
Okay. If you sign a 4-year deal and you're a free agent, don't come back. But I don't think the league should let the players dictate who the owner's going to hire. I really don't.
No.
It's just going to be, you're walking down a dangerous road.
Yeah,
and that's my thought on that.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even think of another player that's tried to pull that shit before.
DeAndre Hopkins was pissed. That's why they traded him. If you look, Lamar Jackson is starting to make noise in Baltimore, but Lamar Jackson's got a lot of guys in his ear telling him, "Hey, we need to get rid of the offense coordinator. We need to run this offense for you. We need to do this for you." Bullshit. Okay. If I don't think you're a fit in my offense, either I'll trade you or I'll hire somebody better. But I just think it's a dangerous precedent to let the players dictate to the owners who they should hire.
Yeah.
Publicly.
And
I don't think he's at that level.
No, I don't think so either. No.
Now, if an Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes or a Tom Brady comes up and says that, you're probably gonna listen.
You're gonna sit down and listen. You might not.
I don't think he's quite at that level yet.
No.
Just like a LeBron or a KD, you're gonna, if they want to have an input on who the coach is, like you're gonna be like, well, yeah. I don't think Deshaun Watson's at that level yet.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers did not want Matt LaFleur to be the head coach.
Yeah, I remember
when they hired Matt LaFleur two years ago, Aaron Rodgers didn't want him there.
Yeah.
But the meetings of the mind, Matt LaFleur, look, I'm the coach. This is how it's going to be. Rodgers fell in line because Matt LaFleur took Rodgers' strength, helped on his weaknesses, and now look at the Green Bay Packers. Okay, but that's a classic example of an ownership telling the star player deal with it. Yeah. Okay, and because Aaron Rodgers threw a fit,
and the star player
last year they drafted a backup quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers didn't fall in line.
Well, he's also
Aaron Rodgers got mad.
Getting close. Yeah. He's also getting close to the end of his career.
Sure, but the whole thing is you can't let the inmates run the asylum unless they're willing to scratch the checks for everybody. If you want to tell me how to run a team, buy a team. Until that point, you're the quarterback. This is what I'm going to do. When your next contract comes up, go play for somebody else. Okay? And that's the power you have. But you should not have the power to tell the owner who to hire for all the positions. Can you imagine being a boss at work and your warehouse foreman tells you the general sales manager sucks, this guy sucks, get him out of here, let's hire my guys.
Yeah,
the owner will fire your ass.
Well, yes and no. I agree. I do agree with what you're saying, but I do think that people who actually do have more importance on the totem pole can have a little bit more say and like a little bit more an effect on, hey, listen, this guy has actually been really good. I've known him. He actually does his shit. The thing is, though, like, let's give him like a 2-week trial period. Let me show you what he can do. If you don't like him, then boot him up. Like, that's the way it should be run, versus not like everyone else should be getting rid of and hire my guys, and that's that. Like, there's actually a big difference. Yeah,
you can't do that in the NFL.
But in the NFL, if you know somebody if you're a quarterback, like we'll just say Brady, for instance, he won like Antonio Brown there, like he wanted him there. But the other players, like, he's got screw loose. Like, we just don't want him there. But I don't think that if Brady says, like, we want him there, and he actually went there, which he did, and he hasn't really proven himself where he should have been, I think that poll should be restricted back a bit more. Like, hey, listen.
Well, the thing is,
but yeah,
there's different levels to it too.
Right. Yep.
Like, you got guys like Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady is not just a good quarterback. Tom Brady is an NFL mind. Like, Tom Brady knows the NFL. He knows the defense just as well as he knows his offense. Like, so when he says this guy's a good player or this guy would make a good coach, there's a chances are he knows what you know what I mean? It's not just, oh, you're super talented, and so you think you know everything. Like,
I mean, I was just using that one as
that know the game, and so those guys are going to get a say.
Yeah, I was just using that one as an example.
Is that you don't do it publicly.
Right.
Yeah, you don't do it.
Yes.
Well, you just don't do it.
49ers.
No, you just don't.
Their 49ers learned their lesson years ago when they tried to pull that shit with Bill Walsh and what's his name? Sievers? Was it Sievers? I can't remember.
George Sievers.
Yeah, they ran into that trouble then. And that was due to the general manager, right? Because the general manager said, "This is who I want."
Yep, I think it's a conversation behind closed doors, respectfully, and they work it out. And I am sure that there are some stipulations on that Antonio Brown thing where, look, somebody's going to babysit him. If he screws up, there's going to be problems.
Yeah.
Well,
he knows it. He's very grateful.
There's a difference.
But the only difference with Antonio Brown is he's a player.
Yeah.
He's not a general manager. He's not a coach. So your risk is not as high as telling the owner about hiring a general manager and a coach.
Yeah.
If Antonio Brown,
the reputation of the team and the coaching staff is very high.
Sure.
For bringing him in, their asses are on the line.
Yeah.
For that guy. But what do you think the conversation went like when Brady said, "Hey, I want Gronk"? Oh my God!
I'm sure. It's Brady. Just like with Antonio Brown, I'm sure they said, "All right, if that's who you want, like, that's who we'll get."
Right.
Yeah,
they got Brady for a couple of years. They're going all out.
Yeah. On paper, Gronk, I mean, he's a good tight end. I mean, he's He's good at what he does, and he's got no off the field problems. He's got a lot of charity stuff, a lot of good stuff going with him. I don't see why that should be a no.
Yeah, there's no downside to hiring Gronk.
Right.
None
exactly.
at all.
But if you look at Antonio Brown, look at the background that he has,
different.
There's going to be a lot of hesitation with that one.
That's
a different story there.
And around here, they don't say nothing about it. It's just like he's a player. No protests, no craziness.
But again, those are players. Those are players that you're saying, hey, grab this player. But I'm sure that Tom Brady's not going to go to the owner of the Bucs and says, hey, Bruce Arians sucks as a head coach. I don't want to play for him, and your general manager sucks too. Okay.
No, just because he's not that. Yeah, he's probably not going to do that.
Deshaun Watson wants to have. He wants to pick out the general manager and the coach. He wants a word on it. No, you're a player. You're a quarterback. Like I said, you're not going to pick the general because Deshaun Watson is pissed because they hired a guy from the Patriots to be the new general manager, and that's not who Deshaun Watson wanted.
Well, okay. You can't pick your boss.
Nope.
No,
you can't do that.
As hard as you try, no, you can't.
You can't pick your boss.
You can pick where you work. You can pick where you work.
Who made him like this great guy to make decisions? I don't understand Deshaun Watson.
That's what I'm saying. Is there's guys that can go into the head office and say, hey, I want to be able to have a say in this, and there's guys that can't. I don't believe that Watson. He's just flat out. He's not that good yet.
No.
He doesn't have the credentials to have that pull. That's what it comes down.
He's not that good.
I think it also comes to we weren't there, so we don't know how the conversation went, but it does make a difference on how he approached that with the owner. I mean, did he go and say, I want this, or did he say, hey, can I make a suggestion? I think it's different.
Well,
if he would
just a tweet though, John. That tweet said a lot.
It's a tweet. That's the problem. That is the problem.
But here's the deal too, right? JJ Watt comes out right before the last game of the season, and he's calling out guys on his team who don't practice hard, they don't show up. You know what I mean? I mean, JJ Watt wants to leave because of the toxic atmosphere of the whole team. Okay? He's not saying I want to pick the general manager, I want to pick the coach. No, JJ Watt's tired of his teammates because they don't have the will to win. They don't want to win. It's more about their, half the guys in Houston building their Instagram brands than it is putting the practice on the field. JJ Watt wants out, okay? But it's not because of the coaching staff or the general manager.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Can the Chiefs win without Patrick Mahomes? Bob, you first.
Yeah, but their defense would need to step up.
So you think they can win without him at all in there?
You know what? You've still got Kelsey. You've still got Tyreek Hill. You've got Damian Williams. You've still got the offensive line. You got a good defense. As long as you got Kelsey and all those boys, there's a great chance the Chiefs could win without Mahomes. But the defense is going to have to stop Buffalo to do it.
I say no. Say no. The reason why I say that is because you can have all the offensive players, your tight ends, your receivers, your running backs, all you want to, but if you do not have a decent quarterback, you cannot win. The Vikings are actually well proven that many times over.
Speaking as a Viking fan there.
Yep, I'll tell you that much. Like if we don't have a quarterback, we are screwed. Look at the Cowboys. As soon as they lost Dak, they were done. And they had some good offensive threats.
They were done before Dak.
I'm just saying, Dak was their quarterback. Once they got rid of Dak, they went downhill pretty quickly. You can't say no to that.
Okay, Brian. I'm going to throw a little like curve on your thinking. Okay,
sure.
Super Bowl number 5, Baltimore and
wasn't
the Dallas
even born
Cowboys.
yet, Bob. He wasn't even born yet.
Johnny Unitas was the star of the Baltimore Colts. Johnny Unitas gets hurt halfway through the season. A little dude named Earl Morrall comes through off the bench and leads the Colts to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And they win.
Okay.
Kurt Warner.
Okay.
The Rams, when they won the Super Bowl. Trent Green was their starter.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Green got hurt in preseason. Kurt Warner comes in. Rest is history. Kurt Warner's a star.
Okay. Yeah, and where did Kurt Warner go from there? He actually went on to do decent things.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, he went to the Super Bowl with Arizona and stuff.
Do you think Dalton's going to have that same legacy?
What about Jeff Hostetler?
Yeah.
Right, Jeff Hostetler.
Yeah.
Jeff Hostetler with the New York Giants.
You got to
Super
give
Bowl
Kurt
25.
credit. I
don't think we're going to compare their backup quarterback to Kurt Warner. I mean, at least I don't think that's what we're doing.
Kurt Warner had the advantage. He had the advantage because he was a stock boy.
Right. I don't think their quarterback is bad enough to hurt the team, though, Brian. I think he might be able to just hang with him.
No, I'll bet anybody $500 right now. If Patrick Mahomes does not play, the Chiefs will not win the Super Bowl.
I'm going to say no as well because I feel like not having him, it's going to take the offense out of sync.
I don't even know if they can. No, I don't think the defense is good enough to beat the Bills. If Patrick isn't there scoring, I don't think I don't think so. Unless the Bills shit the bed.
Do you think they're good enough to beat the Bills with Patrick Mahomes?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You think?
Oh yeah,
you think it's a shoe-in? Is it a shoe-in?
No,
I don't think so.
I'm picking the Bills. I want the Bills to win.
Yeah, I picked the Bills to win.
But I think, with Patrick Mahomes, of course.
Actually, Nick, I got a question for you.
Without him, I don't see it happening.
How much of the Bucs team returned from last year? Has there been a lot of replacements or very few?
There's been very few.
Okay. And so that being said, when Brady onboarded, the team actually started winning more.
Not immediately.
Well, no, but
what's their record?
Look where they at now versus where they are at last year. Do you think it's been a major improvement or very little improvement?
It's been obviously a major improvement based on the points, and we had James.
So with those being said, you can actually say right now that a quarterback can actually make your team.
No, Tom Brady is a little different quarterback than most. Okay, if you put, we're talking about the Chiefs. I think have a great nucleus, and it was proven toward the end of the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. I mean, the kid held in pretty good, right?
But that's what I'm saying though. That's what they did.
Can the defense
they held on
hold the Bills enough?
They held on.
For him to
Could they hold on for 4 quarters against the Bills?
That defense, they would have to step up, and it could happen. The defense isn't going anywhere.
Well, their
defense isn't like some shutdown defense.
But the defense will get tired, especially if they're out on the field.
Right.
I mean, that's what I don't see. I don't see Kansas City staying in sync without him. I think with him being the play, there's so many times that he's made plays happen, and if I don't see that, I don't see.
The fear though is a quarterback like Henne, right? Is that who it was? Henne,
yeah, Henne.
Or Henne.
He came in. He's got nothing to lose at that point. He's going crazy. I mean, the dude is doing crazy things that nobody expected. There's no real tape out on him. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, shit. And going into this game, there still is not enough tape on him.
He's got nothing to lose, but they didn't score any points.
You just go baseline on him, and you better hope that he doesn't come with a package. Because if you just go base on him, because there's nothing to study. You're in a friggin' nightmare for the whole week before. You've got to go base defense and hope that it works. Or change midstream. Now, it's got to be a good change because, God forbid, this kid just does what he's supposed to, or this guy does what he's supposed to, and is opens up the playbook and starts utilizing it, and they don't know how to friggin' game plan for him. It's lights out. It's a big difference when you have no video out on you.
Sure. Plus the part
there's no guarantees. I'm just saying it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the beauty part is with Henne this week, he gets first team reps all week long.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's going to get a full week of practice with the first team. And can the Chiefs win without Pat Mahomes? Absolutely. Will it be tough? Absolutely.
Is it likely? Absolutely not. But
I think he does okay. I just don't think he's going to make those plays, those plays that Mahomes
instinct plays.
Yeah, and
he's going to do it his own way, John. He's going to do it his own way.
He's going to
we
do
don't know
this
what
all
that
day,
is.
but I think that the timing's going to be off. I think that I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
Look. So you're saying that his timing with the receivers is off. So maybe Andy Reid knows that too. So they do more of a run game.
Yeah, they will. They will for sure. If what's his name doesn't play.
Well, here's the thing with most players in the NFL is that like they all like the good players, they have some sort of really, really good instinct. Same thing with quarterbacks too. They can really quickly find something in the peripheral that other quarterbacks don't. Like their field of view is a bit more narrow, and like I'm going for this target. If not that target, I have to look this way to that one. Well, then when they swivel their head, then it could be a sack. Or they move a certain way, the defense is going to see that their head is turning. Well, if you're a good quarterback, you're going to stand back and you're going to see the whole thing and find a good receiver without really narrowing your field of vision out to that person. So that experience right there, plus that instinct, could make a big factor with that quarterback.
And this guy is not a rookie.
No,
he's not a rookie.
Right, he's not. He's not. Plus, he put up 34 points against the Chargers in the last game of the season, and he didn't have Kelsey, Tyreek Hill, and God, who else didn't start for the Chiefs? Mahomes didn't play, Kelsey didn't play, Tyreek Hill didn't play, and he still put up 34.
I would not want to beat the Bills this week. That's all I'm saying. I would not want to have to game plan for this game.
No,
it's going to be a tough one on both sides.
Sure it is, but he's going to channel his inner Earl Morrall and maybe come out and win the Super Bowl after Johnny Unitas gets hurt.
Right? How cool would it be, the Bucs and the Bills? That would be awesome to me. I think, all four teams.
If the Bucs win, they're going to be hosting the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Crazy, huh?
They'll be the first team to ever do it.
And Brady would have another craziness tag on him, right?
That'd be wild.
The city will burn.
Well, actually, technically, they would be hosting it in their own stadium, but there was a team that won 20 miles or 30 miles from their home stadium.
The 49ers.
Well, here's the thing about him. So
and they would be the away team, by the way.
Yeah.
These guys would be the away team.
So here's the thing about Henny is that like he's been on, this is a third team since 2008. His touchdowns is 60 and his interception is 63. So he's got a higher rate of throwing interceptions than he does.
He's hot,
but he was playing with a bad team.
But
he's hot trash.
Passing completions is
11.
Pass attempts is 197.
I wouldn't look at it.
60% pass rating
Did you say their backup's Brett Favre?
Who?
Is that what you said? Oh, it just sounded like that with his numbers.
No, I didn't say that.
Might as well be Brett Favre.
Saying so, you can say what you want. I mean, he was on Michigan, and I mean, he's done decent. Like, he was a Super Bowl champion.
So, how would you like to be the city hosting the Super Bowl during COVID?
Well,
if they're playing in that Super Bowl, that city's going to go nuts.
Yeah,
and they're not shut down either.
You have the
Florida's not shut down, right?
Dude, Florida's going to have a party. I think I might go to if the Bucs go to the Super Bowl, I'm going to Tampa Bay just for vacation. Because that shit's going to get wild.
They were talking about the NFL experience just before I got on. They're planning for it, but I think they're going to lose a lot of planned revenue. Hotel, motel, restaurant, transportation.
But Florida's open, right?
What's that?
Yeah,
Florida's open, right?
Yeah.
So they're not
going
to
everything.
They're not.
Florida gives zero fucks.
They're not going to limit the amount of people that can be in that stadium, then, right?
Yeah, they will.
Oh, they will then.
Oh yeah.
They will.
Yeah, because
the NFL will tell them.
It.
Oh yeah,
right
we're
now
going to
they're
have
at like 10%. Last I heard, which is like 6,500 people.
Dude, that's going to be one hell of expensive ticket if they're only going to allow 6,500
But
people.
you can bet.
Hell yeah, screw
The shit
that.
around the stadium will be going off.
Those tickets just went triple in value. They
Well,
went from
Super Bowl
$5,000
tickets are expensive anyway.
That's what I'm saying. They just got even more expensive. Because
And there's big parking lots all the way around it. So they'll be like, they don't allow tailgating right now, but these people aren't going to not tailgate.
Dude, that city is going to be going insane, dude. People, the fact that it's there and they're one of the states that is open, people have been waiting for something like this. There's a lot of people that are going to be like, you know what? My state's been shut down. I'm going to Tampa to party.
Tampa. Bob, let's go. Road trip, Bob.
No. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. No. This is what we need to do. All right. Once COVID is over, right? Everything's open back up. We need to go to the cocktail party, the Georgia-Florida game, and watch how serious people tailgate and have a college football experience. I've been to the cocktail party twice.
Would they kick us out for being old?
It's been phenomenal.
I'll meet you there.
You said that the Georgia-Florida game?
Yeah. It's played in a neutral field. Okay, it's in Jacksonville, Florida. They cut the tickets right through the goalpost. One side's orange and blue, the other side's black and red. They come in the Monday before the game, and they bring the motorhomes and stuff, and it's a party for a week. Okay, and it's a great game.
When is it usually? Like what time of the year?
Halloween weekend. It's always around Halloween weekend.
It's
Halloween,
dude. So are we going this year?
You guys want to go? I mean, we can arrange it.
I'm not even kidding. If you guys want to go, I'm down to rent a motorhome, and we can drive down there. I'm ready.
Nick will meet us out
You have to swing out to pick me up first, and then go back down.
Yeah, we'll don't worry. We'll pick you up on the way, buddy.
Road trip that goes like this.
Right?
I don't care. We'll road trip it, dude. We'll get a motorhome. That way we can stay there and we'll rage for a week. I don't get not a week because it'll take us a while to get over there. But
it doesn't matter what their records are. It's always a good time.
It's always a good time.
Oh,
it's always down.
I'm so down. You guys will see a side of Mike you've never seen before.
No, I seriously. Last time I went was 2009, and it was a blast.
I'll paint my body Georgia colors.
Oh God!
Oh God, no.
Brother,
I can't. If I'm going with Bob, I can't do Florida.
You can.
I'm not sitting on that side of the field. I'm not trying to die.
Hey, Mike.
No, you won't. No. Trust me. Trust me.
Dress up in Nebraska.
There are no fights. I mean, I sat with some some Florida people. The girl I was staying with, her and her cousin were Florida fans. We were in the parking lot together. I mean, it's a good, fun rivalry. Trust me, everyone takes it serious, but there's no fighting or brawling.
No.
It's just,
it's a big party.
Okay,
it's just a big party.
It's a big party.
Oh, I'm down. I'm sold. I wanted to go to a big college football game. I saw Stanford play. Who's their rivalry game, Bob?
Cal.
Yeah, I saw Stanford play Cal at Stanford, and that was cool. But I want to go to like something big like that, like a Oklahoma or Georgia, Florida game.
That's it.
Something like that.
Mike, what you want to go to is, if you can't go Georgia, Florida, Oklahoma, Texas is played in a neutral site field, same as Georgia, Florida.
Told me about that.
State fair, half the sidelines, Texas, other half is Oklahoma. But that's a game I want to go to as well. But doing the cocktail party twice is just something I will always treasure, man. And I'd love to do the cocktail party again.
See, John, we could get Bobby Britt to go to the Oklahoma-Texas game too.
Oh yeah, easy.
He'd go, because I don't know if he's ever been to an Oklahoma game, and he's a big Sooners fan.
If you want to make
Saturday in October,
if you want to make a big road trip out of it, I would say try to pick something in Florida. Everyone just go to Nick's house and just crash there for a week. That's
Nick, we're gonna pitch tents in your backyard.
Yeah, we can do it, Nick. and then we'll go up a day early.
No, we'll just park the motorhome in front of his house.
Yeah. But
absolutely.
Jacksonville L House,
I got one.
And, yeah.
You've got one already? Oh shit! We'll just have a room to get there.
Yeah.
Is that where you live, Nick? Or where are you?
Clearwater. I live 3.5 hours away.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
See?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll fly there and then we'll rent a motorhome there.
Yeah. Can I wear Penn State colors?
Whatever you
want, man.
Sure, bud.
I'm bringing on my vacation.
It'll give us something to laugh at for the whole week.
As I'm getting my ass kicked.
Who's this guy? He's a developer.
Yeah, I could see Mike and I could see Bob recording me getting my ass kicked.
I mean, you can just get a Sandusky t-shirt if you want
and posting it on social media.
Well, actually, Nick, just so you know, if you want, when we get there, if we're going to be down there for a week, I'll just be a temporary employee at one of your shops or at one of your shops for like a week just to help you.
We're not working. We're going to Jacksonville. We're not working.
Oh hell no. We're going to that's what I'm saying. We'll fly down there, and if they do it for a week, we'll go for a week.
We can hit Daytona on the way over.
Yeah,
fun.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that too. We
can do Daytona on Saturday.
Hey, there's some good strip clubs in Daytona.
On Sunday.
Hey. all we need is some alcohol and
that's all. Food,
some food, and some keep me ups, and we'll be all right.
No, there's a great Hooters restaurant right across the street from the Daytona Raceway.
Yep, the original one, Bob, is right here around the corner from my house.
Really?
Yeah,
man, we almost got one here in Modesto when I was in high school.
Yeah, the city council turned it down. They wouldn't let us have
bullshit. It was supposed to be where the Boston market was.
Yeah. Don't the Mets play in Clearwater for spring training?
Phillies.
Nick?
Phillies.
Oh, Phillies. Now the Phillies? Okay.
We got the Phillies and the Blue Jays. Blue Jays are right up the road in Tarpon or Dunedin.
Yeah, see, I've gone to Arizona, and there's like 15 teams in that area. Spring training's the best, man.
Yep.
Yeah, but now in Florida, we've got the Tigers, we've got the Mets are in South Florida, the Astros, Braves, Phillies,
Nationals.
What's that weather like in October, Nick?
October here, 80s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's usually.
Yeah, yes.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yes, Mike. You can walk around with your shirt off, Mike. I know
that's
important to you.
So have we figured out
the body paint?
Have we figured out exactly when this is going to happen? It sounds like a great.
It depends we'll have to see how the whole COVID thing goes. But
that's the problem. COVID thing.
If they're not really because the only thing is Florida's open, but as long as it goes away enough, then they don't restrict the attendance.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're good to go.
I know North Dakota just reopened today, roughly.
So we should know. I think we'll know what the rest of the year is going to look like by like the end of spring. I'm thinking April, May-ish. We'll know what the year is going to be.
Oh, it's also just going to be how much people are going to kind of go back to normalcy, because there's going to be a large group that's still going to kind of.
Florida's still normal now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Florida's normal now, but I mean, like you said, with the Super Bowl, they're going to restrict it. So if it's still going on like this, the NCAA may restrict that. So we'll just have to see how it looks right before summer. And if it's looking like it's a go, I mean, I'm down. I'm totally down.
Yeah. Well, last time I went, tickets were $250.
That's
nice. Oh yeah, we're good.
And we had great seats right above the skyboxes in the stadium. They were right below the skyboxes.
Yeah.
But
man, that's the
stadium.
I want to be in the student section.
Pardon me?
It's right on the water where the Jags play. I mean, it's a great stadium.
Yeah. People bring boats. People bring boats to party on.
Yep.
They tie up off the James River there, and it's a huge. It's called the cocktail party because in the 70s and 80s, Keith Jackson, when he would call the game, would always say, "Welcome to the world's largest cocktail party."
And it wasn't always played there. It was played at
Gator Bowl. The Gator Bowl in Jacksonville.
The Gator Bowl. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah,
we're at
been
that
in Jacksonville
time.
since 1933.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're at that time at the end of the show here. Bob, any goodbyes? Any thoughts? Anything you want to add?
You know what? Write down the fact that we didn't get our rule changes in.
Oh, okay. We could do that. Okay, go for it. You can start, Bob.
No, next week.
Well, the question is
John,
let's
do it next week.
You want to do it this week or next week?
We'll do it next week.
We can do it next week.
Yeah, we only got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that could be a good 20-minute talk.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again. We'll see everybody next Monday at 7 p.m. For Nobodies Talking Sports. Goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye.
Good luck, Nick. Go Bucks.